So, reading a z-score area underneath a curve table. Let's go through this step by step and try to understand how to get this answer correct. Okay? All right. So, this is a sample that we're going to do all from the beginning. Here's a typical question. Okay? For the distribution, the normal distribution, with a mean of 50 and a standard deviation of 5. Find the probability that the score, the x, is less than 53.5. So how do you do it? The very first thing you do is you use the z-score. You want to find the z-score. I should have just written 53.5. I wrote 53.57. Sorry about that. You follow the z-score formula, okay? It's the score minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. So using 53.57, I get that divided by 5, and I get 0.71. So now I need to go find 0.71 on the table. Here is 0.7. See this right here? We have the oval. It pairs up with 0.7 on the left, and up above it is 0.01. So you put that together and you get 0.71. And that means the area under the z-factor score of 0.71 is 0.26115. And that is what I have graphed here. Not the middle of the graph, not the left side of the graph, but this blob, if you will, because this is drawn freehand on the right. This area is 0.26115. That's what the table is telling you, and that's why I circled it in red. For the 0.7 and the 0.01 together make 0.71, and that's the area 0.26115. And these areas in this yellow table are all for the amount of area to the right of the mean of the graph, so the right of the midpoint of the graph. Okay, you need to remember that I want to go all the way out to this region, so I also have to add in the 0.5, because this is the whole area under the normal curve is 1, and the left-hand half of the normal curve is 0.5. It's half. So I have to do 0.5 plus 0.26115. I add that up and I get 0.76115. So that's the total area. Now it's really cool that that area is equal to the probability. So 0.76115 or 76.115% of scores will be less than 53.5. What are the steps to solving a question like this? Finding what the probability is that you'll be x less than a number like 53.5. First, you have to find the z-score, calculate it. Then you have to go to the table, identify, in this case it was 0.71. The beginning will be on the left, the end will be up the top. Find where they intersect, like playing Battleship, and you get your value. In this case, you're going to add it to the 0.5 because it's a greater than 50% score. It's 53.5. And then you will then interpret that score. That's the interpreting that we just did. So that, folks, is how you use a z-score table to find probabilities. And now we're going to do this multiple times. So this question was a teaching type of question, and then we're going to get into now some examples to do. All right? And remember, very important to remember, this table is the scores are from the middle of the normal curve to the right. And we always need to make an adjustment in that we might have to add the middle of, or it could also be the middle of the curve to the left, but we have to decide, are we going to add it to the 0.5 or are we going to subtract it from the 0.5? That we will figure out on a case-by-case basis. So the steps: find the z-score, go to the table, interpret the number.